What is the strangest thing that happened to you that you can't logically explain? I'm too young to remember this actually. But my mom always tells this story. Apparently, when I was younger, like barely able to speak, I was sitting on the floor playing with some toys nonchalantly with my mom when I just said, "When I was in heaven, I met a woman who said you'd be the perfect mommy for me." I apparently held the belief that I was in heaven before being born, and an angel looked at me and chose the mom I went to. My mom asked me to describe the woman, and I apparently described my mom's great-grandmother perfectly, down to the eye color. I had never met my great-great-grandmother nor seen a picture of her. When I was about 12 years old, I went up to Lake Tahoe with my friend and his parents, who had a condo in Incline Village. One day, the two of us are walking to the bowling alley and cross a street in a crosswalk. Right before we get to the curb, a car comes really close to hitting us. All of a sudden, we are both up on the curb, like we were lifted a few feet. We both looked at each other strangely. Did you jump? No. Did you? No. We spent the next hour kind of dumbfounded. It didn't feel like a shove or any use of force. We were still in the street, then we weren't. Grim Reaper was like, "Oh shit, wrong guys." When I was 10 years old, I didn't want to go to school one day. I faked a stomach ache so my grandmother would let me stay home. I've always been a bad liar, so my Gma tried to call my bluff. She told me if I was too sick for school, then she would be scheduling me a doctor's appointment. 3 hours later, I was rushed into emergency surgery. My fake illness was actually appendicitis, and it was so inflamed that if I hadn't come in that day, my appendix would have ruptured, potentially killing me. I felt 100% fine that day. Faking sick saved my life. I once was changing pants in my room before work and took off my belt. After putting on my other pair of pants, I went to put my belt back on. But my belt was gone. No one else was in the room, and I spent a good 10 minutes looking for it as I had simply set it on the floor. It's been 10 years and I've never seen that belt again. You should have asked your mom to find it. I will never forget witnessing this moment. In my physics gen ed last year, we were split up in groups and working on a lab. A guy at another table let out a yell while extending his arms and fell headfirst off his chair. The very second in between his yell and hitting the floor, a beeping started going off in the room, followed by the words, "An emergency is happening in your building. Please evacuate at the nearest exit," and accompanied by flashing lights. The guy is having a seizure on the floor, so all we're focusing on is getting him help. A campus police officer comes in and tells us the rest of the science buildings have already evacuated for the fire alarm. Most of us leave to give some space to the people helping the guy. While outside, we are talking amongst ourselves, absolutely baffled by the coinciding events we just witnessed. Did the flashing of the alarm trigger epilepsy? No, because he was already on the floor by the time the lights kicked in. Was there some kind of sensor on him that alerted when his body was experiencing an emergency? No, because it was his first seizure. Just reading it might sound lame, but witnessing it and working out what was happening in real time was just eerie. A car going 50 to 60 kilometers per hour hit both of my knees in 2008. It was 100% my fault. I wasn't paying attention when I crossed the road. And not only did I not have any broken bones whatsoever, I didn't even fall. I did flinch quite a lot though. My knees and leg hurt for about 2 days, but I really can't explain how a car going relatively fast hit me and only got me to have barely more than a couple bruises. I'm a firefighter, and we got a call for an overdose around 3 a.m. to a rough part of our district in the middle of winter. Unfortunately, the patient was long gone, and her dealer, or whatever, found her like that when he dropped some stuff. As we were packing up our stuff, mind you, this is an absolutely trashed mobile home, I hear something down the hall that said, "Lights?" I asked my partner if he said anything, as it was just him and I cleaning up. He said no. I walked to the far end of the trailer where I heard it and shine my flashlight. I get a reflection out of the window. They have a small tool shed and it had a flickering light. It piqued my interest, so my partner and I go out there. We hear crying and notice the door is padlocked. We cut it and this little 6-year-old girl was in there. She said her mom puts her in there when she gets mad at her. She said she got scared when she heard the sirens and didn't know what to do. To this day, I have no idea what happened or where the voice came from, but I'll take the win on it. Edit. A couple people wondering about what happened after, my partner and I took her to the children's hospital closest to us, and we wrote our report and ate chips and a sandwich we took from the lounge while they called a social worker. She was a really sweet girl. The voice was not a little girl voice. I 100% thought it was my partner since it sounded like a guy. This one is strange to me because it was so long ago, and I'm convinced I have to be remembering things wrong. I was a young kid at the grocery store and I saw this toy helicopter, like Hot Wheels sized, that I really wanted for some reason. I, of course, didn't buy it, but the memory of it stuck in my head. A few nights later, I had a dream where I was playing with the helicopter, but I realized it was a dream and stupid young me thought that if I put it under my pillow, it would still be there when I woke up. After that, I woke up and eagerly checked under the pillow to get it. For some reason, it was right where I left it in the dream. As a kid, I wasn't surprised to find it there, as it all made perfect sense to me then. But years later, I have no clue how the toy helicopter actually got underneath the pillow. My dad owned a small garden shop, so I'd stay behind the checkout after school till the shop closed. This was until I saw a tall man wearing all black, like a trench coat, walking past my dad and smiling at me before going into a staff-only area. I jumped up to stop him, even though I was 7. This back area was filled with new shipments. I turned the corner, but nobody is there. There was nowhere he could have gone. I asked my dad to check the CCTV after closing, but it only showed me jumping up and running out of frame. Weird stuff. I never felt comfortable there again. One time when I was little, I had a similar experience. I had fallen asleep on the couch and woke up in the middle of the night. When I got up to go to the kitchen, I saw a black silhouette of a woman with a bun and glasses. She went into the kitchen and I heard all of the pans fall. I rushed into the kitchen. No one was there and everything was in its place. I know I could have imagined the figure, but I cannot explain the sound of the crashing pans. No one else heard it. They were all asleep. Write in the comments mysterious stories that have happened to you or your friends. If you liked the video, then don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like it. See you in the next video.